All right, I'm making this video because I've been getting a little bit of pushback on my criticism of Bernie Sanders. And by the way, I'm a supporter, but I was critical of him basically not putting time and resources into the southern states, which allowed Hillary Clinton basically to build up an uncontested lead amongst the delegates. So I'm going to read you or give you the figures on each state's either primary or caucus, the percentage of the victory of the vote that each person got, the number of delegates each person got, and the basic difference. So let's starting with Iowa. Hillary Clinton won 49.9% of the vote. Bernie Sanders won 49.6% of the vote. Clinton got 23 delegates. Sanders got 21 delegates, a difference of 2. In New Hampshire, Bernie Sanders got 60% of the vote. Hillary Clinton got 38% of the vote. Bernie got 15 delegates. Hillary Clinton got 9, which is a difference of 6. In Nevada, Clinton got 52% of the votes. Sanders got 47% of the votes. Clinton finished with 19. Sanders finished with 15, but there's a secondary process, and my understanding is that Bernie Sanders picked up at least 5 additional delegates, which actually makes him the winner of Nevada. In South Carolina, Hillary Clinton picked up 73.5% of the vote. Bernie Sanders picked up 26% of the vote. Clinton got 39 delegates. Sanders got 14. That's a difference of 25. Alabama, Hillary Clinton picked up 77.8% of the vote. Bernie Sanders got 19.2% of the vote. Clinton picked up 44 delegates. Sanders picked up 9, for a difference of 35. Arkansas, Hillary Clinton got 66.3% of the vote. Bernie Sanders got 29.7% of the vote. Clinton picked up 22 delegates. Sanders picked up 10, a difference of 12. In Colorado, Bernie Sanders got 58.9% of the vote. Clinton got 40.4% of the vote. Sanders picked up 38 delegates. Clinton picked up 28 delegates, a difference of 10. In Georgia, Clinton picked up 71.3% of the vote. Sanders picked up 28.2% of the vote. Clinton picked up 70 delegates. Sanders picked up 28 for a difference of 42. Massachusetts was a wash. Clinton had 50.1% of the vote. Sanders 48.7. Clinton got 46 delegates. Sanders got 45. Minnesota, Sanders got 61.6% of the vote. Clinton got 38.4% of the vote. Sanders picked up 46 delegates. Clinton picked up 29 for a difference of 17. Oklahoma, Sanders picked up 51.9% of the vote. Clinton picked up 41.5% of the vote. Sanders got 20 delegates. Clinton got 16, difference of 4. Tennessee, Clinton got 66.1% of the vote. Sanders got 32.4% of the vote. Clinton picked up 42 delegates. Sanders picked up 22 delegates, difference of 20. In Texas, Clinton picked up 65.2% of the vote. Sanders picked up 33.2% of the vote. Clinton got 144 delegates. Sanders got 73 for a difference of 71. Vermont, Sanders picked up 86.1% of the vote. Clinton picked up 13.6% of the vote. Bernie Sanders got all 16 delegates. In Virginia, Clinton had 64.3% of the vote. Sanders had 35.2% of the vote. Clinton picked up 61 delegates. Sanders picked up 32 delegates, a difference of 29. Kansas, Bernie Sanders picked up 67.7% of the vote. Clinton picked up 32.3% of the vote. Sanders picked up 23 delegates. Clinton picked up 10, a difference of 13. In Louisiana, Clinton picked up 71.1% of the vote. Bernie Sanders picked up 23.2% of the vote. Clinton picked up 35 delegates. Sanders picked up 10, a difference of 25. In Nebraska, Bernie picked up 57.1% of the vote. Clinton picked up 42.9% of the vote. Sanders got 15 delegates, Clinton got 10, difference of 5. Maine, Bernie picked up 64.3% of the vote. Hillary Clinton picked up 35.5% of the vote. Sanders got 15 delegates, Clinton got 7, difference of 8. In Florida, Clinton picked up 64.4% of the vote. Sanders picked up 33.3% of the vote. Clinton picked up 133 delegates. Sanders picked up 65 for a difference of 68. Illinois, Clinton picked up 50.5% of the vote. Sanders picked up 48.7% of the vote. Clinton got 73 delegates. Sanders got 70. Missouri was a wash, with each picking up 49.6, Clinton 49.4 respectively, 34 delegates each. North Carolina, Clinton picked up 54.6% of the vote. Sanders 40.8% of the vote. Clinton picked up 59 delegates. Sanders picked up 45 delegates, difference of 14. Ohio, Clinton picked up 56.5% of the vote. Sanders picked up 42.7% of the vote. Clinton picked up 80 delegates. Sanders picked up 62 delegates, a difference of 18. Arizona, Clinton had 57.6% of the vote. Sanders had 39.9% of the vote. Clinton picked up 44 delegates. Sanders picked up 30, difference of 14. Idaho, Sanders had 78% of the vote. Clinton had 21.2% of the vote. Sanders picked up 17 delegates. Clinton picked up 5, difference of 12. Utah, Sanders had 79.3% of the vote. Clinton had 20.3% of the vote. Sanders picked up 26 delegates. Clinton picked up 6, a difference of 20. Alaska, Sanders picked up 81.6% of the vote. Clinton had 18.4% of the vote. Sanders got 13 delegates. Clinton got 3, a difference of 10. Hawaii, Bernie got 69.8% of the vote. Clinton got 30% of the vote. Sanders picked up 17 delegates. Clinton picked up 8 for a difference of 9. In Washington, Sanders got 72.7% of the vote. Clinton got 27.1% of the vote. Sanders picked up 23 delegates. Clinton picked up 8 for a difference of 15. Now, sorry about that. Here is my problem. Bernie Sanders' biggest wins as far as delegate pickup was Utah 20, Minnesota 17, Vermont 16, Washington 15, and Kansas 13. All 5 of those races, the highest margin of victory was 86%, basically to 13%, which he got in Vermont. Second highest was Utah, 79% to 20%. Okay, but now if you compare that to Clinton's victories, her biggest victory was in Texas. She got a net pickup of 71 delegates. Florida, a net pickup of 68 delegates. Georgia, a net pickup of 42 delegates. Alabama, a net pickup of 35 delegates. Virginia, a net pickup of 29 delegates. Louisiana, a net pickup of 25 delegates. South Carolina, a net pickup of 25 delegates. And Tennessee, a net pickup of 20 delegates. So Clinton's major pickup of delegates, when you drop down 8 spots, is 20. Sanders' biggest pickup, his number 1 biggest pickup, is 20 in the state of Utah. Okay, now I'm saying all this to say what? Okay, those large delegate pickups in states like Tennessee, South Carolina, Louisiana, Virginia, Alabama, and Georgia were accompanied by margins of a minimum of 66% of the vote versus 32%, all the way up to 77%, which she received in Alabama, to 19%. These are all states that Bernie did not contest. And what I'm saying is, if he could have cut her margins down by contesting, and again, time is a major factor here, but if he could have reduced those margins down into the medium 60s, and he gotten his margins up to the 30s to 40s, the delegate count would have been dramatically different, and he would not be in the hole that he's in right now. Now, I recognize, obviously, Texas is a huge state, and her beating him in Texas, basically, where she got 144 delegates out of 217 total delegates. Well, that's just the cost of doing business. Same thing with Florida. There were 198 delegates available, and she got 133 of them. Yeah, okay, so yeah, he did lose in some larger states, but if he could have reduced his margins and lost less in the smaller states, again, Georgia, Alabama, Louisiana, South Carolina, and Tennessee, he would be a hell of a lot closer to her as far as the delegate count was concerned. So I hope that basically makes clear what my position is, that he should have tried to knock her margins down in these smaller states. It's a known fact that the more time that Bernie spends in a state, the closer he brings the margins, even when he loses. Now, again, I recognize that time is a factor, but he should have realized this at the beginning of his campaign, knowing that Clinton's name recognition was basically 100% and that his name recognition was basically 0. He had a lot to overcome, and the only thing that was going to overcome that name recognition was time spent in those states. It's a numbers game, people, and you don't always have to win, but you should always keep the numbers close, which is what Clinton is doing now in Wisconsin, because she knows that Bernie is going to win Wisconsin, but she doesn't want it to be by 10 points or more. She's trying to keep it down somewhere around 5 or less.